What's up, everybody? It's Joe from Complex. You are listening, you are watching the Complex Sneakers Podcast. As always, I'm with my guy, Mr. Matt Welty.
Feels like we're on a marathon.
We are on a marathon. I got a little tripped up because we've been having conversations before we hit.
That's why I was.
We had the real banter going on.
Yeah, we had the real banter.
That we wish we could.
Don't worry,
the cameras on.
Yeah, we're saving it for the documentary.
Sorry, it's the other way around. When the cameras.
And always jumping his intro to my left, Mr. Brendan Dunne.
Oh, can't wait to interrupt. You know who it is. I feel like I'm on a marathon too. I'm back running a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back on this running grind.
You took like a long hiatus, right?
Yeah.
How many miles you up to? Because I know that you were
not
doing...
many, man. Not enough to even mention the number. You know.
Okay.
But I'm feeling a little sore as a result. I wasn't running in these shoes.
I was gonna say
keeping my shoes right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure. I mean, I know you can't run in jeans. You know who does run in anything though?
Is it Dave Matthews?
No.
Who is it?
Steven Smith. Didn't he run in the Bape?
Oh yeah.
Oh, right.
So I thought maybe you were
Steven Smith.
I thought you were channeling Steven Smith, who was running in the full Bape Kid Cudi.
Because of that, I'm a little bit sore, which is embarrassing because I haven't put many miles in and I'm already feeling sore. But and also, do you guys ever get addicted to watching like these chiropractor videos on social?
No.
There's there's a few. It goes on a rabbit hole because the way that YouTube works is like you watch one video and next thing you know,
you better watch that shit on incognito browsing.
Yeah, like next thing you know, your
algorithm,
whole front page is that, and there's a few like hype beasty sort of like
chiro doctors.
Yeah.
Are they doctors? They're not.
They're official.
Just
like,
massaging in chrome hearts rings.
No, well, it's like there's like ones you've seen. They got they'll have like Yeezy 350s and like Murakami like Complex Con like hoodie.
Wow.
And,
would we trust that?
That's the person you want to fuck up your spine.
But they do like it's all like the cracked and release because they take up like a strap
Just like
that they put around the neck and like yank and like it's like
It's got the human-made foam roller.
Exactly. What are you going for? The new Supreme drop, cracking the spine.
Imagine like they have like the Supreme like accessories.
Yeah, exactly.
He takes like the Supreme baseball bat and starts like rubbing it in your knots.
Exactly.
You guys ever been to a chiropractor though?
No, but
would you?
Yes.
I really
it's like long overdue.
I really need to.
Me too. My back is
just like my whole body.
Yeah,
it's like
you know the ones I'm talking about, right? Do you want to go to that type of thing?
The ones that like
cartoony.
The ones that go
no, a real one. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not trying to do that.
No, but I should because my posture is the worst. I notice my posture is the worst in Ubers. Mm-hmm. Like,
oh my god, dude, I'm like
sleeping in
scene
Ubers.
Where Ray J every cut, his hat is at a different angle.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
me in the back of the Uber.
Exactly.
I'm like,
and exactly. And then at home, my couch is low.
Yeah.
So the Zoom, and I've been having lower back problems.
Joe, I am right there with you.
Listen, getting old sucks for real.
But I don't know if those chiropractors, like, is that a real thing that actually helps you? Like, when I see the way they snap someone's neck, I'm like, I'm
more into the idea of just getting like a real, like, serious, like, sports massage.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I'm not a big massage guy.
My body from like doing all like the fitness
the
stuff. Yeah, it's like
seen the videos.
There'll be like certain things where it's like my IT band on my left leg is like super tight, or like my shoulder is like I really need to like roll it out because it doesn't press the same, But
we're shooting early. Did you get a workout in already?
I did, and I did one that really hurt, and I hate when I do things. You love things that when they really hurt.
Yeah.
But also when you're in the middle of it, you're like, why am I doing this to myself?
50 Shades
Because
of Grey type of thing.
This like hurts. Oh, one thing I thought to talk about, sneaker related. Seemed like last night something that I had spotted that seemed like a JLP sort of approved sneaker moment. No, this isn't anything bad. Was G-Eazy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sitting courtside at the Celtics. Quick flex, had the Yeezy ones on and they fell apart.
Yeah, and then he just got the Union 2s.
Yeah, just took them off, like threw them on the ground and...
Yeah.
That one
Where'd
hurt.
the Union 2s go? Was Ben Kicks just in the locker room? Wait, Ben Kicks in the locker room with the Union 2s just on deck?
On call.
It seemed like some dude just like pulled up next to him and just was like, here you go.
Yeah.
Must be nice. No, that hurts to me because to me, the Yeezy 1 is still a sneaker that I have dreams of going back and buying,
Oh.
I never owned a pair of Yeezy 1s, and I would still like to own a Nike or Yeezy 1 at some point, but I've seen many recent things where they're falling apart.
It feels like they've hit that vintage point where like the shoe is no longer...
Yeah, it's like the right point in the timeline where, they're going to...
So they're not wearable?
Khaled had the pair that fell apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Joe, you own Yeezy
All
ones,
three.
right? Yeah. I remember
three.
the video.
Yes.
Of
No,
Sneaker Box Clyde, right, coming into the complex
Yes.
office, and
Yeah.
Russ is there.
I think Sneaker Box Clyde has an NFT coming out. Also, the hot dog. Me as the hot dog. We're not. That's all I'm
NFT.
saying.
Yeah.
All I'm saying about the hot dog in this episode is, yes, someone made an NFT of me as a hot dog, and it is great. But Sneaker Box
Dude, the
Clyde.
crazy part is like the beard on it. The beard, like the exact point that the 5 o'clock shadow
perfect.
hits.
The problem is we can't show the picture in our
Why?
YouTube video
Don't you-
because we don't own it, right?
Don't you own it?
He
Don't
said
you
I
own
could
it?
Is it in your wallet?
I don't need. I don't know what.
That shit is non-fungible, dude.
I don't
if you
know what
fund
any
it,
of
they're
that
gonna
means.
be mad at you.
But
funged it.
But I think the person will let us clear it. But Sneaker Box Clyde, yes, I did that complex closet.
Can I ask
Russ
you-
Bankston had the Deion Sanders cleats, which were fire.
Yes. Do you still have those Yeezys? Have you worn them a decent amount over the years, and do you think you could wear them right now without them crumbling?
I don't know. I would love to wear them.
You should do it on this
The
podcast.
good thing is the black and pink ones. I got my wear out of those. Marcus Troy got me the black and pink
throwback.
Yeezy ones, like from a store. He hooked me up with a store, I think in Canada. Shouts to Marcus Troy. Always will remember
He
that.
gave one of my first shots in the industry.
What was
Marcus
it?
Troy.
Brought me out to Project in Vegas.
Marcus Troy, his blog. His blog was like. I used to love his blog. Always early industry. I would read that like every day. I would wait for all new posts, and he
That's an era. That's like
great era. And his
2000,
blog,
like,
his blog
10.
was fire. Yeah. Shouts to Marcus.
So those who don't know, JLP, infamous in the complex office for having like multiple like hidden like sneaker storage units.
Yep.
I think there's been like different permutations.
There's one right now.
There's one right now. There
Yep.
was like the actual closet in the old office where you had like a key and you opened it up and like there was like the one, but in the
Yep.
first one you had like, wasn't it like the pullout?
The wooden ones.
The complex office
yeah.
on 23rd.
Yeah,
right?
you
Yep.
opened it up and
Yeah.
there was like you had all the shoes like
Yeah.
stacked in it. But wasn't there a shoe in there that was like damaged or something like that?
Yeah.
That you had
the
like
Jordan 11, and I said like
you had stains all over it or something.
I was like it looks a little like pee. I think. Yeah. So like I had the
Yeah.
Concord 11s, and I guess like the lighting or something.
Yeah.
But
PP.
yeah, I guess I made a joke, which didn't age well. Obviously.
Just like the Jordan 11s, just like
yeah,
the Yeezys.
yeah, didn't age well, obviously from the reaction, but yeah, Clyde had the vision, man, with the vlogs.
Yeah. I remember watching that. That was well before I worked at Complex.
Really?
I remember watching that video being like,
I had, I think, in that closet
damn,
the
I hope one
3D.
day I could talk about hot dogs with him.
Now look, I think I had the 3D,
Look at us.
the 3D Kobe's too, which
Sick.
I love those.
yeah.
Sick, man. Yeah, another thing I want to mention, like again, we are recording this a little bit early, so if something happens in the sneaker world and we didn't address it,
Always gotta say.
if like Marcus Jordan burns down a puppy orphanage or something, like we'll talk about it next week. You know what I mean?
Okay,
What?
nothing.
Have I gone too far?
Keep
Go.
going.
Keep going.
Like Khaled said, keep going. Jeez.
I'm sorry.
What do you want to talk about? You said
That was it.
Oh, one thing
was
I
a
want to talk
PSA.
about.
Oh.
One thing I want to talk about that we have to talk about. I think Jacques Slade being Tyler the Creator's music teacher
In high school.
and the
Amazing.
Nardwar interview, and Nardwar saying Mr. Slade was your teacher. Me going right by it, and I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
I thought he
And
said
then-
Jacques Slade.
No, he said Mr. Slade.
Mr.
Oh,
Slade.
okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
And then your tweet, and also of course Good Burger found the article.
The article, like a local newspaper article from when Tyler was in high school.
And it's like Tyler on like producing.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and it just shows how humble Jacques is, because he
It's
doesn't
funny
really
too
say
because
Yeah.
I think a lot of people thought like early on that Jacques Slade was like a fake name.
Really?
I
You ever heard
did.
anyone say that? I remember people saying that early on that they thought that was just like.
Well, people thought La Puma's a fake name. They did all the time. I mean,
it's
they
so cool?
no, because they just the sneaker guy. Like they're like, oh, that's a pen name, and I was like, no,
Really?
yeah, but I didn't know Jacques Slade yet all the time.
Really?
Yeah, that's why like people always used to say like, oh, that's just what you write under, and I was
That's
like,
low key
no.
gassing you up, right? Because it sounds like some cool like secret agent name or something like that. And you're like, no,
Well,
motherfucker,
here's the
that's what my
thing.
parents named me.
Here's the thing about that. I think it goes two ways. Like, one, people could think maybe it's a cool name, but also I think it would be corny to be like, oh, you're into sneakers, La Puma,
Yeah.
Puma. And then, of course, the quintessential joke, did you ever have your own Puma sneaker? Like, it's like,
Well, I mean, it is kind of
Hey,
like bad
Sneaker
on
Box
their
Club
half
can
that
make
they
it happen.
haven't
yeah, Sneaker Box Club.
that they haven't even tried to link it up. But what I was going to say is going back to the Jacques
yeah.
thing. It's interesting because in the news story, it talks about how, you know, when Tyler was 16, and Tyler like wasn't like famous yet. I think that's like in the era where he was like still the kid like camping out at Supreme, because it said Tyler says, and it says like does not want to say his last name.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Very, very.
So no one really knew exactly who he was talking about at the time, because the story's from 2008, so it was like right before like.
Yeah.
Two things. I totally realized that. I read the article last night and it was like Tyler doesn't want to say his last name, but
The
also
local news article from
also Jacques' quote is like, couldn't have aged better.
Well,
Couldn't have aged better. It was something like he's like,
like a miniature Andre 3000.
exactly, and it's
But
like,
what I was going to say was
sorry.
No, is like it's funny because he talks about when Tyler was 16, and like obviously like younger Tyler, he was making like pretty like crazy music.
Yeah.
You know, like the things he was like saying in the music, and just like the sound of the music.
Yeah.
And like
but
it
that
said
was
that it said that Jacques had like patience to like listen to it and like give it to him. And so I could imagine Jacques hearing these like Tyler raps that are probably like.
Do you think he was making Yonkers though in the Jacques?
No, but I would imagine that the raps like Tyler at 16 were like pretty vulgar, like pretty like out there, you know. And Jacques as like a school teacher, like he never like was like, oh dude, this is too much, like don't do that, you know.
Listen, man, Jacques was already Lil Nutsack by then, so
Yeah,
he had heard some shit. You don't know about Lil Nutsack?
I do.
Okay,
I do.
Walk Hard?
Wow.
Yeah, the Dewey Cox story. So it's not like he wasn't accustomed to foul music.
No,
I
but I
also
thought
think-
Tyler was just like his music at that point
Sure.
was just kind of like on another.
Sure.
I also think that like today, if it was anyone else, you know how many press and like selfishly, I wish that we could interview him about like it'd be a great music piece.
Yeah.
But like selfish, I wonder how many requests he's getting for like interviews.
Jacques?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he probably won't do it. A full like to put it all together.
Yes.
I'm not slacking. You know, I have a white tee, like no hoodie, but white tee.
Uniqlo?
Tyler connection, Uniqlo.
Yeah.
That's Tyler's
That's the
favorite
same.
white tees.
Yeah.
I've had like a bunch of favorite white tees throughout the years.
Dude, I was a big Kirkland.
You were a big Kirkland.
Yeah. I kind of got off the Kirkland wave a little bit. I mean, there's one thing that we know that Kirkland does, right?
What?
When you leave the Costco, what's the last stop you're making?
Was it the chicken bake or whatever?
The chicken bake for sure, but even more classic than the chicken bake, the very food item that caused the
Glizzy.
CEO. Yeah, remember?
I haven't had.
Remember when the like there was some new leadership at Costco and he told the old CEO or something. He told it, maybe the old CEO told the new CEO, like, if you raise the price on the hot dogs, I'll kill you. You never had the hot dog at
No.
Costco?
Look at what
I'm sorry, but I had to say it.
Okay, what a hot dog wankster I am. I didn't know that.
Damn, homie.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But
Coney Island, you was the man, homie.
what were you? So will you? I feel like we always get the white tee question. What do you? Do you wear white tees?
I just wear like undershirts. I don't like I used
You never pop out in the white
No,
tee.
I used to be a white tee guy.
What was it? What was the brand?
I mean, it had to be the go-to. It was the 4 for $20 Footlocker white
Okay.
tees.
Oh, I don't know that.
Those were good.
That was like the thing.
Foot Locker made them? It was Foot Locker branded?
Oh,
it was
wait. So 4 for $20 white tees, and then I think they did 5 for $20.
They used to do like 5 for 20, or they would do like 5 for 25 or something like that. But then they tried to like up the quality on
Yeah.
them because
Yep.
like the original ones, like this is like the 2000s, you would buy them and like, I mean, obviously white tees, you wear them once, but like the Foot Locker ones, you'd really like wear them once and they would like just like shrink up.
Finish line. There were years where 4 for $20 and 5 for $20 was like, I don't know how. I mean, definitely like changed the bit. People would get shoes, and then like
They would do like the other color tees too. They'd have
Yep.
like red tees,
those
black
big
tees.
tables. I
and then
definitely
you tell them, like, look, you got the varsity red Jordans. Don't you want this?
The worst thing is folding the t-shirts.
I definitely remember an old manager of mine. There was like folding things, and like to be honest, those tables could either look so appetizing to shop,
Yeah.
where you just grab the 4, put it on the register, and like it actually was like, you know, you always hear these things like if it's shoppable, it'll move more.
Yeah.
Those tables were like a definite representation of that. Like if you could get them pristine, people would just grab them. But they had paper in them too, so like
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
stiff. one night, like it was terrible, and like we were closing, and they looked all the manager just flipped the table.
What?
Yeah.
Like a dude at a Magic the Gathering tournament?
Yeah, it was
pissed
just
off
not
that he
not
flipped
happy.
the table over?
And like it was, they were all over it. But do you remember?
No,
it was
I'm
like
just laughing because that's like that. What was it? That Thanksgiving video where like his like Thanksgiving's ruined now. And just,
it was.
We all have different perspectives on this.
But it was like those tables. Man, I wish we could find a photo. If those tables looked pristine, it was like it was like, you know, that they put the gum at the counter because like kids or candy at their supermarket, kids want the gum or the candy.
Yeah.
That was what the white tea. They were like, oh, do I need anything else? And you know, it'd be like 4 for 20 white teas, 5 for 20. People would just
Easy.
put them up. Yeah.
Commission.
But I've been wearing Uniqlo, and then I did I still love Hanes.
I'm on the Uniqlo wave very much now. You kind of put me onto that. A lot of times now, before I go on vacation, before I go on a trip, I'll just go to Uniqlo downtown and buy a crispy white tee. But I did have I mean, when I got in a car crash, I was wearing like a Uniqlo
So now
white
it's a little
tee.
bad luck.
That would be
All
like
right,
the best.
hopefully-
That would be like the best sponsorship, like Uniqlo in general. Like Uniqlo is like the go-to
Great.
where it's
Those
like
are your Uniqlo jeans, right?
Uniqlo jeans, but also like
I thought they were Buddy Lee for a little. Just because. No.
Buddy Lee?
No, just because I thought maybe the super and like the apartment, like putting in the work, Buddy Lee.
yeah. Oh man, I got like suspenders or
Real workwear shit. Double knees so you could get down there and
Yeah,
fix
you love
somebody's plumbing.
Uniqlo, but like
You love
Uniqlo, but you say
Uniqlo.
Uniqlo socks, Uniqlo underwear, like basics where you can just go in and just grab it and be out.
Yeah.
That's the way. But
Spend a lot of money there.
the worst thing I hated selling at Footlocker besides insoles because they're a scam.
Really?
Yes.
That was like, so we would also get yelled at. Insole in every, you know, I was putting insoles in sandals.
See,
Yes.
this is like what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It's like
I was putting
it's like-
insoles in sandals, and also every shoe had to have an insole before, like
and people would like. I just
How
hated the
much
whole.
are these
what-
insoles?
$20.
$18.
I hated
it was the
the-
biggest accessory upsell, but also what was it a scam? Like what?
Dude, it's just
Do you
like
think that's true?
I just hate like.
I don't know.
Is that proven?
I just hate number one, I would hate just like the whole awkwardness of like, because you'd walk into the store, right, and
Yeah.
you just want to buy like an Air Force One or a pair of Air Max 90s, and
Very
you're just
few
a
Bezos.
dude wants like try them in and on, but like you're like no, but try this on, and you're
Yeah,
like,
but
So you hated being in the position to have to upsell somebody.
but it's like it became the whole sale wasn't about selling them the sneaker. The whole thing was like trying to kind of like talk someone into buying
gotta
an
counter it a little
talk
though.
to someone buying an insole. But the thing was is that so these sneakers are engineered in such a way that like this is how they're supposed to fit your foot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you take out the insole and you put in this Spenco, that was the brand, these green insoles
Yes,
that were
he's
like
right.
this
He's
thick.
right.
Uh-huh.
His memory is crazy.
That were this
course,
thick,
always.
and like they don't work for everyone's foot. So I would put on an insole, and it raises your foot like this much in the heel. So like the back of the
Will I
shoe.
get a little extra height?
No, but the back of
have
the
a counter.
shoe no longer sits where it's supposed to sit. So when
Yeah.
you're walking, it just feels like
Okay.
So here's my counter to that.
Counterpoint.
First of all, the Spenco is like the cheaper one. We got up to $40
A
insoles.
$40
Yes,
insole?
and it was
Holy
like
shit, dude.
it was like carbon, maybe like
Oh
carbon
my
fiber.
God.
Here's
If
what I
there's
would
a
counter.
$40 insole, I want it to be handmade by some Italian artisan. You know, the exact contours of my foot.
Here's what I would counter to that, and like, I don't think it's BS. I'm not going to say it shows the difference in sales prowess between him and I. I was putting insoles in Air Force Ones because they lift your feet, and I would say, and this is true. The toe
Snake oil
box wouldn't.
salesman.
If your foot is lifted and it's like closer to the toe box has less likely to
Bro.
crease.
but
There is no way you did a double blind study to figure out that this is
No, but if your foot is lifted, that's what I would say. So
no,
listen,
I mean that's
How,
true.
what's the sample? That's true.
No, because
if
like
you take the Air Force One insole
You
out
really
back in
figured
the
out
day,
physics of this?
people put in that is a thing because people put
double
in the
sock, they didn't want that white Air Force One toe box to crumble at all. People were doing like even the employees. There was like these ankle things, these ankle gel things that they would put in backwards.
No, that wasn't for the ankle. That was for that was
The heel.
That was for the heel.
That's what I meant. Heel,
Okay.
not ankle.
No,
sorry.
but you put them in the front. It just
Yes.
minimizes the space between
Yes.
your foot and
Okay.
the.
So that's how I was selling.
But people hated it though because this is the reason why like they go into Foot Locker and you're trying to buy shoes, but the
Right.
way that and this is like one of my biggest not my big I have many
beefs.
beefs with Foot Locker, but
What's the biggest?
well I mean just the fact that like completely like underpaid like
Oh,
the
okay.
employees and like
Okay.
making kids work for like under minimum wage in the hopes that like you get a 1% commission and like
Let's go.
whatever.
Wow. And I felt bad about the Air Force One. Okay.
So, but the whole thing is that you go into a store and you want to have a good like customer service like experience.
Okay.
And then when the way that the company is set up is it totally incentivizes just selling an insole.
Yeah.
Where the insole is like the pushiest thing that you can sell to someone
It's the most expensive accessory.
But it's the most like intrusive like form of like selling to someone because you're putting it in the sole and you're like, put this on your foot. No, try it. But like the way that like the company was structured was that basically if you sold insoles, you were a good employee. If you didn't sell insoles, you had to mark down how many insoles you sold a day. And if you didn't have an insole to shoe ratio, you'd be viewed as like a bad sales associate.
If you were selling insoles, you were
getting hours.
Were the margins crazy on that for them?
the accessories.
Is that what it was?
But Welty, the other thing I would
Hold
say
on,
is
hold
like,
on. But so
got him fired up.
No, but the thing is that so now all of a sudden all that comes about is people trying to like force insoles on customers to where the whole customer service experience comes about someone trying to push an insole on you. And I'm like, there's
Not
a lot
about what shoe is right for you or what you like
and
in the
there'll be a
store.
lot of customers who are like, man, you guys are really like the guys here are really pushy on like trying to sell.
See, we never got
sell
that.
insoles, you know, and it just like it soured some people.
Yeah. It sounds uncomfortable, the thing you're explaining, both for the customer and the maybe for
my experience,
maybe for an
like
associate of silver tongue to Joe's.
my experience was different though. I'm not gonna lie. They either said no right away,
And
or
you would let them.
of course, like no, not interested. And then if they bought like running shoes, we would put it in. We would let them walk. People came
Would they
back.
do a lap like you know that
People
viral
came back
video?
for insoles. That's why, like, you know, you call it a sham, and like I can't get into the technology, but like he is totally right that putting insoles in, if you were a high insole converter,
Yeah.
you were you were like the best salesperson.
That's
but
crazy.
I never really had like anyone really. They would just be like, "No, I'm good," or like. It'd be like, hey, you on your feet all day? These help. And like you would take the whole selling thing was like you take the Nike insole out and it's like nothing. And this was like,
Flimsy.
this was like a gel, but very, very
But you're also
interesting.
not supposed to have like a 3-inch thick like insole in every single shoe, you know?
But
Like
like you're just
totally-
totally saying insoles should not exist.
No, but I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it totally changes like the dynamic of how your foot is supposed to sit.
for sure.
The shoe was manufactured by Nike in such a way that like this is how the shoe was supposed to be created. This is the level your foot's supposed to sit in it. This is where the arch is supposed to be. This is how the toe box is supposed to fit you. When you take an aftermarket piece like an insole that's like 2 inches thick and put in there, it drastically changes the way that the shoe fits and functions. So it's like not every shoe needs an insole. Not everyone who wears a shoe needs an insole, but the fact that like the biggest footwear retailer out there is trying to push the image that none of the shoes that the brands are manufacturing are function the way that the brands intended them to be. It's like, just shut up for once.
I disagree.
It's true.
You are taking it like they were like, yo, these shoes do not function.
Bro, do you know how many
without
times
it.
I've heard people say that to customers?
That's crazy. That's a
How
totally.
many times where it's like, this shoe won't even work if you don't put an insole?
That's
Really?
a totally
Yeah.
different thing. That is a totally different thing versus if you want you could get insoles now. If you potentially want added comfort, try this insole. That like this shoe doesn't function is crazy. I agree with you.
Tactics.
I've heard that many
So
times.
wait, like managers were telling you that?
There were so many times that you could have a day where you beat your sales margin by like $3,000. You'd have like a $2,000 sales day that you had to do. You did $5,100, but you didn't sell enough insoles on
that was
that.
true.
And they'd be like, "Oh, like you really must not like your job, huh?"
Oh, I mean
Really?
that
From
that
district
didn't-
managers.
Damn.
We could go all the way down the rabbit hole of all the shitty people I came across working at
Wow.
Footlocker.
All right,
But
I
we
didn't have
will.
that
We can save that for
experience.
another episode. But
Yeah, I
just
definitely didn't have that
fundamentally at the
experience.
core, I just think there's a lot of things that's wrong with the company. But we can.
Okay, well that's
Move
a
on.
different
Yeah,
issue
wait,
than
can I ask one more
than the
question?
insoles.
Because I love this. Do Footlocker still do this?
No idea.
Is it still?
But there was like bonuses for insoles for sure.
Yeah,
The other thing that was big was Sports Illustrated signups.
we didn't have that.
you getting people to subscribe there in
Yeah.
the store?
Never had that.
There was a lot of these initiatives, but damn, I never took the insole that serious because I know from like
should've.
no my
You
experience
could be
like
Dick Johnson right now.
yeah my experience no I mean I would sell them,
Yeah.
but it was
Not
always
enough.
like some people the lift helped the toe box not crease. I mean I was
He was
16
doing
or
community
I was
service.
like 18
Don't you understand? He was helping people out.
or people just like getting up, walking a little bit, and being like, "Wow, these do feel better," and no one ever. Very little return rate. So I would ask you this: how many people return them?
You can bring an insole back.
Yes.
That's nasty.
They
work.
have a
Yep.
they have a lifetime
guarantee. How many people brought them back? I want to hear.
I don't know.
Okay, so not enough.
Okay, can we do a real community service and give away some sneakers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn. So you sucked at selling insoles.
Not
Huh?
even
What?
that.
Come on! How are you gonna come in at the end
Not
and
even
tell me
that.
that?
I just didn't.
He just had
kidding.
morals. He
I-
has value.
No, I don't think so, though. I thought, like-
I was against selling insoles because I thought insoles were crap.
I respect that.
How old? I just.
He had conviction.
Yeah.
I respect that.
I put insoles on in a shoe and tried to wear them, and I'm like, this makes the shoe worse. Why would I try to sell something to
Yeah.
someone when I know it's making the product
I
not
wonder.
the way it's
so
supposed
let's
to be?
in the comments. In the comments, if you wear insoles, I want to hear.
All right.
Guys, this was a decade ago. So
Can we
but,
give these sneakers away?
yeah.
Every week here on the Complex Sneakers podcast, we team up with our good friends at eBay Sneakers, and we find a rare pair of shoes for you. And we give them away for free. This is how you can enter. You can go to ebay.complex.com, and you can submit a question to ask us. If we answer your question, if we pick your question and read it out here live on the air, we're going to send you a free pair of sneakers. And we have a special pair of shoes today. I think I know what it is.
I don't. I have no idea.
Welty, do you know what shoes these are?
No, I don't.
Let's see if I can. This is always a problem. They put them behind my chair, so for the people listening,
I know,
I'm
it's always tough.
struggling to reach the box. Oh, yeah, that's a nice shoe.
There's a pair of sandals.
Do they have insoles in them is the question.
Oh yeah, that like breaks down the whole thing. I tried to sell you a sandal with an insole. It's like
That lets you know how far it went.
I mean, that was just like silly.
Welty, this is a sneaker designed by a collaborator who we had on this show before. Actually, two people who we've had on the show were involved in this.
stash.
No.
Futura wasn't
No.
on the show. Not yet.
Jesse Leva was involved.
Okay.
Okay.
Former Nike employee.
Hayes
Yes.
Dunks.
Hayes Nike
Oh.
Dunk Low. Look at that. What a beautiful shoe.
One
with
of the
the
best-
overspray technique.
One of the best shoes
I'm
we've ever
surprised.
given away.
I'd never seen like the box or whatever, but just how like thin that box is, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, that old Nike box. Hayes Nike Dunk
Look
Low.
at those.
Yeah. If you want to know the story about these sneakers, of course, you can dip into our archive. You can hear in depth from, I think, both Jesse Leva and graffiti artist Hayes
Nice
about
shoe.
how the shoe was created. We are giving these away. Who are we giving away to, Joe?
We are giving them away to Juan Cruz from California. And Juan asks, I will be graduating from UCSD early June and have been questioning my footwear for that day. What did you all have on feet the day you graduated? Any recommendations? First recommendation, don't
Insoles.
don't put an insole in it. Not worth it.
The real recommendation, that at least
Hard
like,
bottoms?
No, I just didn't go to graduation.
Oh, really?
wow.
I
He's
graduated.
High school or college?
I mean, I went to high school graduation.
Do you remember
but
the sneakers you had on? Or shoes?
You had to wear. I think I had a pair of like Timberland, like
Beef and Brox?
no driving
Just the cap.
loafers.
Really?
Yeah.
You couldn't wear sneakers.
No,
Huh.
Are you against graduation?
no.
too,
I mean,
or-
I graduated college like later than other people.
Oh, right, you said that.
The college graduation doesn't mean as much.
Yeah, so it was like I didn't even live on campus. I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't feel necessary to go to it.
Feel like I definitely wore like shoes to college graduation. High school graduation, however, black and red Air Jordan 16s.
Sick.
Yeah, definitely
Nice.
wore those. I remember the ad. Jordan is like he's in I think the United Center court, and I remember it was like when they came out, and he's just like all black, and he's like has his hands folded or something. I think it's called Much Respect. But it was like right after that. I definitely saved them for graduation. Wore the shroud. Yeah, Jordan black and red 16s.
Did it match the school colors or anything like that?
No,
or?
we were maroon and gold, but still love the 16, man.
Yeah,
Did you wear any?
I might have had on Air Force Ones at my high school graduation. It definitely wasn't a thing of like you have to wear a nice shoe, and I definitely didn't have any non-sneakers at that point in my life. I'm trying to remember I think college graduation I probably just brought out like the desert boots, like Clark's or something.
Oh yeah, just try to look.
Because that was like the only non-sneaker I owned at the time, though. But yeah, any recommendations? I mean,
Yeah. Oh, I remember. I totally forgot about that. I ended up graduating like mid-semester.
this is
Not mid-semester.
high school or college?
College, mid-year.
Yeah.
So I graduated in like November or whatever, and they don't have a
Ceremony for that.
that you'd have to wait until the following thing. And I think at the time I already like had like a job at Complex.
Yeah.
Look at you, fresh out.
So I was like, I don't care about
Yeah, not
college
concerned.
at this point.
Well, I guess we don't
I
have
like that question.
any great recommendations. He's asking
Great
for
recommendations. If
right?
I had to choose one,
You know what? To be honest, I like to just not do sneakers when it's a formal thing.
I
But I
kinda
don't really know
agree.
how formal the graduation ceremony
Although
is.
I did wear not graduation, but those few weddings I had gone to around Christmas time. I ended up wearing like the Adidas Spezial, like brown. I wore the Ned Flanders to the wedding.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
that's
Borderline.
Yeah, that's borderline.
Borderline.
That's borderline. Ned Flanders to the wedding is a little wild.
I know, yo,
It
I
is.
got
I
away
love
with
you,
it.
but it's a
I got
little
away with it.
wild.
They look
Alright.
like orthopedic like
It's
dress
a little
shoes.
wild. I agree with you. I think like it's a very fine line. In theory, you know, oh, you're the sneaker person. You want to
Yeah,
think
yeah.
maybe just you know
Like,
you could
don't
still
show
be
up
the,
in Air Max 95.
Don't
you
do
could
the
still be
Concords.
exactly. You could still be the sneaker person and wear regular shoes to the graduation.
No one's gonna question your sneakerhead card if you don't show
Yeah.
up in like Air Jordan 4s.
And you know what, Juan? No one is going to question your sneakerhead card because we have a pair of Haze Dunks coming your way. So
I mean,
enjoy
to be
those.
honest, no one's if one wears those, no one's going to
Joe,
question
black,
anything.
Black Cat 4s to the
no
ceremony.
No. I wore the Cactus Plant Flea Market Vapor Maxes to the Webbies.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
That
to
was-
a wedding.
that-
I know. I was like, Jesus Christ.
No, that
man.
was probably a little with
Wait,
the suit.
so
The first one,
one day,
which was great. They sent it that day, but maybe shouldn't have done that because that's not a shoe that. But it didn't look bad.
You're there for the sneakers.
Nah, the
stuff.
sneaker guy.
one day when if JLP walks down the aisle,
Oh God,
are you going to wear a sneaker? Or are you going to wear dress shoes?
dress shoes.
Yeah.
Gonna finally break out the ALD loafers for the
think
white
that's the
ALD
moment?
loafers for the.
Some Ferragamos, just the big body Ferragamos. You know, the ones you see that the clunkers. Maybe.
You're not gonna like finesse the whole like RF.
You know, RF's wedding.
Move.
We
Yeah,
wore,
he had like the custom
we wore
Nike shoes.
customs.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Or not customs, they were like like 101s, right?
And they had JLP on the back.
Special shoe.
All right, so listen, one great shoe, and go back and listen to that podcast. I remember my earphones fell out. I was just nodding for like 2 minutes, but that's a great podcast. Shouts to Hayes. What a great pair.
Yes, sir.
All right, I think it's time. 31 minutes. Some of this might have to get cut, huh?
No, I don't want to cut 1 second of the insole talk.
No, it was great.
People need to hear that.
All right, so let's get to the guest.
Our guest on today's podcast has a fashion and footwear design resume that has put him in rooms with some of the most forward-thinking brands and pop culture icons. He got to start working for Sean John, and in a span of few years would end up connecting with Dame Dash, who hired him on the spot to work for Rocawear to help its new signee Kanye West on clothing projects. Over the years, he'd be attached to West projects, including the highly anticipated and eventually shelved Pastel line. Later on, he'd lead the Billionaire Boys Club line, develop his own award-winning clothing line, Dine, and even end up working with Marshawn Lynch's Beast Mode label. As for footwear, while working for Nike, he handled the swoosh's 25th anniversary of the Air Force One rollout, and his connection with West had him lending design help to Ye's first Nikes that never released. Currently, he has design projects with Fila and has just been named the creative director of the historic Eddie Bauer clothing line. To talk all of that and more, we want to welcome to the Complex Sneakers podcast, Christopher Bevans. Welcome.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for having me, guys.
How are you, man?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Christopher is somebody who I've wanted to talk to for so long because I see the stuff that he's been involved in, you know, for decades now, and I'm like, damn, the stories this guy must have.
So,
Yes.
when I was an intern at Complex, there was a lot of stuff coming through, a lot of clothing, and like you always like hope that some slip through the cracks, and Bradley would be like, "Yeah, you could take that. You can
Get a
take
little
that."
piece for yourself. Yeah.
And there was this jacket that I always talk about, and I talked about it on the Mark Echo
Yes,
episode.
yes.
And it was like cut and so like
What brand?
I don't want to sound. Don't spoil it. I don't want to sound corny, but like, you know when you say cut and sew, and it's like you look at a piece and it's like, wow, you could tell that this looks really like.
Yeah. Somebody used their hands
Yes,
to cut
exactly.
these
Like
pieces out and sew them together.
it looked different
Yes.
materials.
Yeah.
This was placed here, and it was this track jacket, and I was like, this is like one of the illest jackets I've ever seen, and it was a Christopher Bevans track jacket, and I remember Kanye wore. Kanye used to, how many
Yes.
how many jackets did you give Kanye to wear?
was
Was
a
it always one or multiple?
It was one, Joe. It was one. And he actually just took it off my back. And he was like, I need that. And it was amazing.
So I grabbed it up, one of my early like freebie complex things, and
Wow.
I just remember that jacket. And to be
Do you
honest,
remember the jacket he's talking about?
Of course,
Do you
I
know
still
the
have
exact,
it.
The exact one.
I still have it.
I don't, probably don't, I don't think I have it, but I just remember
Yes.
being a young, hungry intern and
Yep.
being like, I was taking Undercrown T-shirts. Remember them?
Yeah, Undercrown was
so.
awesome.
So
Yep.
it was like boxes all over the place. Like any Undercrown T-shirt, it used to be a joke because like they would flip the Knicks logo.
Yeah.
And if it was free stuff, guys, I would just be like, yeah, this is the cool. But that
I think they came in like Underground shirts that came in like cereal boxes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
but the
remember that.
Bevans jacket, it felt expensive. It looked expensive, and then like Kanye wore it, and I was like, you know, you go home and you're like, yeah, I got this cool little internship, and like we get free stuff, and they're like, what jacket is it? I was like, you don't know anything about this,
I think
but
that was on 23rd Street.
Yeah,
I think that was
23rd Street.
Yep.
Old office.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Old office.
Yeah.
Yep. But I remember that specifically, and you know, just to reconnect with you
Wow.
and stay connected throughout the years.
Yes, fam.
Sneaker shopping,
Yes, fam.
Marshawn Lynch, we tried to
Yep.
get for years.
Yep.
You made that happen?
We put it together.
He made
Yeah.
it. He made it happen. He helped. He
Don't
helped.
be humble here, Chris.
He made it happen.
All right,
We want
all
the
right.
stories, like
okay, you want the stories?
Yeah.
For sure. I got that. I got stories for you.
All right, let's get to what's on feet. I went with the Made in USA
Those look
990s.
good.
Shouts to
Lovely
Teddy.
suede. Yeah, nice.
These are a shoe that has been sitting on my desk since before the pandemic.
I
and
don't even know what that is.
Never wore them, so had to finally
Special occasion?
wear it. These are just I think it's size Adidas Lexicon 94, inspired by a marathon in Vietnam.
All right.
All right.
I'm all Gyakuso today, you know.
I see.
Zoom Elite 5. I've probably worn these on here before,
are
and then I
clean.
got the jacket
Something
on too,
light.
so yeah.
All right.
Got my fragments.
Fragment one's one of your favorites. Like you wear them a lot.
You can tell
How many years have you had those?
when they came out.
Okay.
Gmo, you know,
Wow.
the
Sent it
big
over.
homie, you know,
Yeah.
like
Gmo
he was just
on.
like, yo, I got you. Like, pull up, you know, and like, this is it. Like, this is every day. Like, I love sneakers,
Yeah.
you know, like, but I wear mine, you know, like of course I had a couple things on ice, but
You cleaning out the horse stall in the fragment Jordan ones? On the farm? You picking carrots in the fragments?
my Air Force Ones.
Okay.
That's the work boot, man.
Yeah.
Really?
Air Force One's the work boot.
You got the SF Air Force one. You might have to be high up Ben
Got
Kirshner
you
style.
got like an old pair of like 40-40 Club Air Force Ones that you're
Yeah.
just like,
They're all muddy. Yep, but yeah, this is it. The fragments for me, you know, like just clean. It's the ones, just period, you know. But the fragments, that's it.
Yeah.
It's my shoe.
Eddie Bauer's creative director.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing, man.
Yep. But that jacket, I built that pattern off of a vintage French aviator pilot jacket. And I just worked the pattern in Hong Kong with my factory friends out there and just made a run. And I brought him back, and it was like, yo,
I need that.
I need that. And this is when I was at the Swoosh early on, and he was opening for U2 at this
Okay.
time
In Portland.
in Portland.
Uh-huh.
And A-Track was the DJ
Yep.
at that time.
Yep.
Right? And he was like, yo, see, I need that one. Because Ye was coming in and looking at what I was designing for early on for the Swoosh. Like, you know, I got the green light to have him come through and take a look at stuff and give some feedback with Dunne and
Yep.
IB.
Well before Nike Air Yeezy.
Oh yeah, this is years before.
Yeah.
Years before it. And introduced him to Tinker and
Wow, really?
yeah, Mark Smith and Parker let us kind of do our thing. And we were in the kitchen and just lasering shit, you know, like that's really what it was. That's really what it was, you
just
know.
like Air Force Ones or
It was on ones. It was on the seamless. Remember they had the seamless ones for a while.
I think didn't Tinker have like a seamless, like a one piece,
Yeah, the one piece.
the one piece Jordan 9, like made out of like
Yeah.
deer skin or something like that?
I don't remember that one, but sure, because there was just so much prototyping going
Yeah.
on, and we were just having fun, you know, and just learning the laser, and that's kind of how, you know, I think early days of just like getting in there.
What's the kitchen like for people who don't get to go in?
at that time, this was like the earlier, I'd say, earlier concepts of the kitchen, right?
Nike
So
Innovation Kitchen,
it-
legendary space.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Where
And
all the most cutting edge stuff was coming out of.
everything from spikes on track, studded, cleated. It was in the Mia Hamm building on
Okay.
campus, right? So that was at the time the biggest office building, on the campus.
Yeah.
Now they have Serena and which is great. But just footwear, apparel, complete opposite sides of like the pond. You had the pond in the center of the campus, so
Right.
apparel's over here, and so I was like, how do we connect materials, just simply materials, from apparel, footwear, color hook, make the Pantones right.
Right.
Can I take a little bit of that weave and bring it into, a jacket?
Right.
And so footwear is like, we've never had apparel people come over here and ask us that shit.
Did they not want you in there?
I don't think it's that they didn't want us, but it was just like coming from New York, we were like, there's a connect, in your fit. And being a design director of what they called it, urban apparel, whatever that was, I was like, well, I need to know what's going on over there, because Air Force Ones is the shoe,
Yeah.
and the anniversary's coming up, and Sam Siegel,
Legend.
the legendary Sam, he really helped me and my team like get integrated with the footwear and connect with the PLMs and connect with the product development folks, so we can get the materials and then get them to the apparel factories. It's two different destinations, right?
Sure.
So we really started to push, the envelope and push the brand to like think holistically with apparel involved.
Yeah.
Because Nike's a footwear company first.
Yeah.
What's your memories of, you mentioned the 25th anniversary rollout of the Air Force One, but what's your memories of the song Classic? Obviously, Kanye, Nas, Rakim, KRS-One, and
Right.
DJ Premier.
With the scratches.
Yeah. Man, that I wasn't really involved too much in the music side of it.
Yeah.
That's on the brand side,
Yeah.
But through that experience, I got connected with the brand team, and Trevor Edwards and he was running brand at that time, and then later became president, and it was to see it all come together was incredible, and we did a launch party at the Blue House.
Nike Blue House
the
in
Nike
LA.
Blue
yeah.
House in LA and Santa Monica. And I think that's when they started to understand the power of the culture.
Did you feel like you had to educate them on that
to a certain degree I did.
Yeah.
I felt like I did. But
You talk about being a New York guy in those spaces, and I just wonder, like, did Nike know at that point how much this stuff meant to people?
I don't think so. But they had, they had Clark and,
Sure.
The big homie, and he was always putting them on game. But to relocate from Brooklyn to Beaverton, it's a big, big step.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate that they gave me a budget that I could hire my own creative team too. So I brought Matt Anthony, who we were at Sean John in 01, 02, Rob O, we were at Rock, Henry, Jordan Chan Mendez. So it was like a little bit of a New York vibe.
Yeah.
And we just, we're all boys here. And then to be back to be out in Portland together, it was a movement. So
Yeah.
they were like, there's something here with these guys and the way that they see product, and so they gave us a lot of freedom,
Yeah.
and I really appreciated that, and we had to put them on game to a certain degree, and try to get entertainment marketing to understand that too.
Yeah. What about that Nike Air 180? How did that happen? The Kanye West Nike Air 180 never released. Before the Air Yeezy.
Yeah, it had
one.
the dropout bear on it, right?
Yep, with the leopard
Leopard.
heel cup.
You had a hand in that, right?
It's like
I
black,
did
orange,
those,
and blue.
yeah.
You did those. You
Yeah,
designed
yes.
the shoe.
Yeah, he's sitting next to me. We're on the Illustrator.
This is in Beaverton?
We did this in the New York office at the
Okay.
time. I think it was on 22nd Street. Like, it was around the corner from,
An eighth, maybe?
yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere, yeah.
Right by the old complex?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
somewhere
remember
around
it.
there. And Sheldon Donnell, who was the head PLM for Urban Footwear at the time, I think he's over running basketball at Under Armour now or something. And you have to understand, I'm coming off of the tour bus of the college dropout tour.
Okay.
Right? So Dame, that was the first assignment that Dame put me on, The Rock.
Yeah.
After, you know.
What was the assignment though? Was it helping Kanye with like Rockaware type merch, or like music wise, or what?
I was not involved in the music.
Okay.
I was always about helping Kanye build his brand, his apparel brand.
Okay.
Because he just off the rip was like, I need my own collection, Dame. That was like, I think that probably was written in his deal.
Wow.
You know, like he was getting that. And it started as mascot, and then it was pastel,
Yep.
and we were going back and forth. Polos was the thing, so we're doing all these yarn dye stripe polos. Laptop, tour bus, I-95. We're doing college venues, auditoriums. You got John Legend singing "Ordinary People," opening the song, the show, and we're, you know, at this time, you know, he's super chill, you know, and he's just, piano comes out and he's a crooner. Kids were like, "Where's Ye?"
I'm at a rap show.
Right.
Yeah, they want to step, you
Right.
know, alpha
Right.
step, you know,
Right.
like,
Yep.
you know, right,
Yeah.
right. So, it was really interesting, and I'm just laptop backstage. Like, this is where I saw Ye's work ethic and how incredible it is. It was inspiring. Like, show's done. Yo, let's go, Bevs. Come on. I got an idea. I'm like, I got it queued up. Like, let's go. Like, I was his roommate on tour, so it was like, it was nonstop.
You had a roommate?
Yeah, we were on the bus.
On the bus.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we on the bus. You know, we just this is his first tour, right? Sadly, we didn't get to see that in the Genius, because the guys weren't invited, you know, on the tour.
Yeah.
Right? But that was incredibly special, you know, because it was just like work. And for me, joining The Rock, Dame and Hove, I've looked up to, you know, New York. And so my dear friend Gmo, we were at Sean John, and we were the first regime, like 2000, 2001, Dowie, Max. You know, Max was our intern.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Max Osborne.
Max Osborne, public school. So we were, it was crazy. He was just like, "Yo, you got to come out here and just check Portland out." There was no job offer. It was nothing. He was just like, "Yo, pull up." And so I went out there. I was like, "Yo, it's a good town." Job open comes up. He's like, "Yo, you should really think about this." And I was like, "Man, I'm on tour right now. Like, I'm having the time of my life right now. Like, this is huge."
Yeah.
You know. And so I remember I was like, the tour was winding down. We get off the bus in Newark, where Ye had his apartment out there. We went to Atrium on Broadway, and we're just walking. He's like, "I want to go shop and think of some stuff." That's when Sam, you know, Sam had Atrium on Broadway and
Bleecker, right?
Bleecker.
On that corner, right?
Right on the corner.
And later they put the little racks and it became Kith.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But Sam was the big homie. You know, I know Sam a long time. And so I was like, "Yo, yeah, I took this job, man. I'm about to join the Swoosh." And he was like, "When we starting?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Bruh." I was like, it was probably like, I don't know, man. It was like June, and then I started in August of 04, right around that time. And the first thing he was like, "Yo, if we can flip the 180, dog, like the 180's my shoe."
Wow.
Really?
And I was like, "Word?" I was like, "Let me find out who I need to talk to." And this is when he started a tour with U2. So in the fall, he comes out. And by this time, I had the shoe queued up. I was going back and forth with Don. Don actually has a shoe, too. His is white.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
a Don C Air 180 that we've never seen.
in the ether somewhere.
Around the same time that the
Did it?
We've never ever seen that. Right?
No.
Did
No,
that
I
at
don't
the
think
same
so.
time. I
Okay.
did that at the same time. So Pro did it all at the same. I have that on hard drives.
Okay.
I got the file somewhere, and he pulls up, shoe, boom, and actually wait. Before the show, I went to New York to pre-line the collection. Had the shoe with me. He was in New York. He came to pre-line. I was like, yo, yeah, check this out. He's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
this is it, dog. This is it. You know, some color tweaks. It's never right the first time, but it was there, and that was like and then when he came to campus, met Tinker and everybody, and we had the shoe. It was like, maybe we can do something.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, do what you do. You know, like if that can help me in my department, that's a win for me.
what happened with the release? Why it didn't? I think you Instagram like maybe years ago or months ago, like politics, like never came. Just normal politics or what? Yeah.
Politics as usual.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to. You know, I
Yeah.
don't want to get
Yeah,
into it,
fair enough.
but it was a learning experience
Yeah.
for me. You know, and just kind of how to navigate big corporate. Because it was new for me, you know. I'm coming from Sean John. I'm coming from the Rock. That's still corporate,
Yeah.
but it's a different kind of vibe, you know. And it's New York, and I'm a garment district dude, you know. That's how I came up, you know, and in a 3-block radius, you know. That's how I cut my teeth, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, you want something made?
Make it.
I go,
Yeah.
I go
Yep.
see my guy,
Yeah.
you know. And it was like, wait, we're on a 14-month calendar over here.
Yeah.
Like, y'all don't understand, like.
Right.
That's not how the game goes, you know. So I actually showed them how to turn product quicker,
Sure.
and Nike has 13 maxims that you kind of could adhere to. It's
Yeah.
like you manifest, and the company votes on who works into those ethos. And I won for Simplify and Go. So it's like we had it's a black tie event at Universal Studios on Back to the Future set. So it's like they rent the whole thing out, and I'm like in a black tie. And
So you added a Maxim to the official Nike?
I won a Maxim.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah. So it was interesting. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, and I'm just new to all of this. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is crazy. But that's the swoosh.
The 180, I remember, we always remember he wore the Union 180. Was it
Yeah.
around that time or was that after? Because you said that he said the 180 is his shoe, which is like a great shoe, but also
it was after.
after.
Yep. But I thought they were going to commercialize it.
Yeah.
Because it got so much love on campus. You know, I was like, oh, this is it. You know, this is it. And then, you know, certain things just kind of, you know, fell apart. But I'm just glad that he got his. You
Yeah.
know, he got his. And
In
that's,
terms of the Air Yeezy.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, because that's what it was about for me. And I was just trying to get my department up and running. We were new, and it was a new concept for them. And I was just like, man, we can all win together. But you know, it's territorial too. You know,
What was it like, kind of, not reporting back to Dame, but spending time with Kanye where you were tasked to work on his brand from Dame? Did you tell Dame, like, this guy, you know, Dame obviously saw it, but like, Dame, this guy is different.
yes. And the thing about Dame, like when he was promoting the album internally, like he would play it over the loudspeakers. You know, his office was upstairs, so we're hearing College Dropout all day on repeat. And you know, you got the crew in there graphic. Yo, shut that shit off, dog. I don't want to hear that again. You know, but that's what Dame does. Like
Yeah.
he just the way he markets it. You know, it's like, man, it's brilliant. And it was an exciting time. And Dame, he knew I had a different type of skill set. I'm not a graphic designer. Like I sew, I make clothes.
Right.
And
With your hands.
With my hands,
Yeah.
you know. And so he saw that in me. He actually more or less stole me from Irv Gotti, because I was running with Irv and Ja. I was running all that they had a little brand called Irving Jeffrey.
Yeah, of course. I remember that in the double XL
Double XL
ads.
cover.
Of
Yep.
course.
That's all me.
With the eyes and the G's.
Wow.
That's all
Oh
me.
my god.
They had a cover and they were all
Yeah,
dressed in it.
It was the
Dude.
military
Yep.
green. I made all
this
of
dude
that.
really did everything.
Yeah.
I made all of that. You
Yeah.
know, so this is 03. This is early 03, basically all of 03. So that's when I did all that military stuff, and
Yep, here it is.
Irv was, the whole family, the whole.
Were you there when the 50 Cent stuff popped off?
You were.
Of course,
Yeah.
I'm in the office, but this is a crazy story because I'm not gonna put Irv out there like that, but I was making a lot of the product in Guatemala in a denim factory and a cut and sew facility down there, and that happened, and they needed to settle up down in Guatemala.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it took them about a week to do that, and I couldn't leave the compound until that happened.
You were stuck in Guatemala?
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is when New York had the blackout. I don't know if
Okay.
you remember that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
That summer there was a blackout.
Yep.
And so I'm calling and I can't,
can't get a hold of
through.
anyone?
I can't, and I'm in Guatemala.
You're there with like gorillas who have like.
The real guerrilla unit.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been.
No,
there.
I know. I haven't been there, but I
But if-
envision what
to
you're
like
talking
a
about.
third world country, it's different. The shotties are everywhere, right? And so they're in uniform, and so it's like I'm literally in the countryside in a factory, like waiting for
crazy.
a wire.
For them to pay the money to the
Wow.
factory so that everything was settled up.
Wow.
And then I come back and it was like, what just happened? Like, I know 50 from Queens,
Yeah.
and not personally, but my family,
Sure.
Queens Village and, that. So it was like, what just happened? Like, and then other things started to unfold and it was getting sticky.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, then I take all of that and I go to Vegas and I go do magic. And at that point for me, I was just like, you know what, this is a little much. And thank goodness, a dear friend of mine, Teresa Scott, she was the head of sales at Sean John in the early days. She became head of sales at The Rock.
Okay.
And she knew my pedigree.
She pulled you over there?
Yeah, she's like, you got to just come over here, meet Dame. So I'm in Dame's office interviewing with his whole leadership team. He gets on the phone and calls Irv. And he's like, yo, Irv, I got your boy here.
Wow.
Those two always had friendly comp, right?
Always.
Friendly
You
competition.
get held hostage again in another situation.
And he's like, yo, I got your boy over here. And this is where, this is why I love Irv, man. He was like, yo, that's, he paid me a nice compliment. And he was like, yo, you should hire that brother
That's
right
awesome.
there. And I was like, man, this is love.
Yeah.
Like, this is love. And, you see so much and you hear so much in the music. But when you see these juggernauts together and their camaraderie and how they just vibe and the friendship is real. And I came up through that,
Yeah.
I came up through that. I came up through Puff. I came up through Irv and Dame, and it's like, it was special. It was special. It made it really real for me.
Did you get to have a chaining day at
No,
Rockefeller?
that was more, George Rovers got one, but I was never really, I was in the trenches, man. Like, that's always been me, just getting it done. Not saying that George didn't. I'm not implying that. But I just was never, I did my thing, and I just stay low and keep firing,
Were you intimidated at all going into an interview with Dame Dash? Like
I
a
was-
job interview with Dame Dash?
I was really intimidated.
Yeah.
It was like, oh shit, this is the big homie right here.
Yep.
And this is on 1411, top floor, the big office. And it was like, oh shit. And he had his whole team there, Francis Wong, just everybody. And then Brenda put me on the blast like that. I was like, oh shit. And then he hired me right on the spot.
Yeah.
And it was all love. And he was like, your first assignment, you're going on tour. He's like, grab your shit, grab your laptop, jump on the bus. And I was like, damn. this is real.
Your
Yeah.
life
This
changed
is
just
it.
like that in a
Like
moment.
that.
Yeah.
Like that. And I'm so thankful for everybody that, was there and still friends to this day, Dunne, dear friends, and Barry, who's run security, just everybody. It's all family.
Yeah.
I
It's all
remember
family.
Barry always used to be at Lore Fish Bar.
Yes.
Always.
Yep.
Always.
Yep.
Augusta Mercer.
Yep.
A little later, Dame Dash, Didi,
Yeah.
we were talking, you said that like that's where you met Salehe.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you remember any early memories of like you guys, your encounters?
Yeah, Salehe, prolific, competitive, but just incredibly talented. And he was kind of the creative guy there. And then he didn't know that Dame and I had history. So when I came up, he was probably, he's feeling me out like, yo, who's this dude? And then we just, we hit it off when he realized that, I got a lane, you got a lane. There's a movement here. It was really special. In that space in Tribeca was incredible. And to watch the Black Rock album come together was powerful, But Salehe and I, we hit it off, and it's just been amazing to see his climb, It's just testament to his talent.
One of the sneaker people that you get to work with, that's probably a lot calmer than the situations that you were talking about before, is Roger Federer.
Yes.
Right? And you got to design the RF.
The
flow.
RF, yeah. So that was one of the first assignments that I was given from Tinker. So Nike has a tennis court on the Bo Jackson workout facility, and Art Parker saw me out there playing. He's like, I didn't know you play. I was like, yeah, I'm working on my game. He's like, I think I got something for you. And I was like, cool, And then Tinker hits me, and he was like, can you come on over, we kind of see if you can, we're trying to figure something out for Roger. And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to sit here and take all the credit for it first. Mad Anthony, dear friend, who was head art director at Sean John for some time, brought him in as art director for at the Swoosh, and just over a couple nights just sketching, and I think Robbo jumped in on it a little bit, and we were just the three of us, just doing our thing, and it just started to take shape. And there's quite a few renditions and going back and forth with Tinker, and then it was like, boom.
There's been like a lot, wasn't there like a lot going on with that? Because like after he left Nike, he was like trying to, I think, like buy the logo back.
Some legal action, right?
Yeah, there was a rub there. I don't know exactly what that is. It's unfortunate, because when God invented tennis, it's Roger Federer,
Yeah.
He's like, this is for you.
Yeah, and Nike's first athlete was Elena Stagi, who was a tennis player, right?
Mm-hmm. From Romania, I think.
Yeah, incredible, fiery tennis player. And Phil Knight's, loved tennis. So
You play tennis with Phil Knight?
no, I never had a chance to, but we've had some fun nights though.
Oh?
Yeah,
Anything
for
we
sure.
can talk about here?
No, probably not.
Yeah.
But Kobe was there.
Wow.
Yeah,
You and Kobe and Phil Knight.
LeBron was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're just going to make the story better and better without telling us. I'm so
It was
mad.
like what was it? It was, I would think it was, maybe it was a birthday for Phil.
Okay.
I would want to say, and this is when Mindy Grossman was running apparel, and she was just like, yo, you should come to this, and I was like, oh, cool, and so I brought my whole team,
Yeah.
and we had a little back section, and it was like, it was awesome. Phil Knight I think he was rocking True Religion jeans. And
No. Hold
I was
on.
like, yo, what is
No.
happening?
Yeah. Phil
Wait,
Knight
what-
had the True Religion
Yeah,
jeans on?
True Religion.
What's
I know
Jim
that
Jones?
much.
What sneakers was he wearing with the True
He was
Religions?
wearing cowboy boots.
Wow.
What? No.
I swear to
Phil Knight
you,
had
I
the
swear.
Truies on?
I swear
Wait,
to you.
were they like Nike-made cowboy
I'd have
boots?
probably-
Cole Haan joints, maybe?
Probably.
'Cause I've always kind of heard from like
But he
other
was
people.
clean. He was
Yeah,
clean.
yeah. You put the fit together.
Yeah, he put it
okay.
together.
I've heard from other people as well is that like, I guess like the whole like Uncle Phil sort of narrative. It's like he kind of keeps like, not like tabs, but he like actually remains like connected to everyone in a way more than you would expect Phil Knight to.
Yeah, he's very approachable. It was surprising. And just you could email them and you get a reply, and it's like, what do you need?
Phil.knight@nike.com.
Something. Yeah, I don't.
Did you ever get starstruck though, or did you ever kind of pause? Because at least me hearing the stories of like Tinker just calling you up and being like, "Hey, we need to work on something," or Mark Parker just seeing you at the tennis court, like that is such a high level. Were you? Was it normal to you by then, or do you remember when it became normal?
You know, there's definitely moments where I'm like, whoa,
Yeah,
this is incredible.
yeah,
Like, I love what this person does and what they stand for. But when coming up in New York, it's like I'm rubbing shoulders with,
Yeah.
Hove and Dame, so it's like, so I'm like, yo, this is Mount Rushmore, and with the swoosh, it was like, you have to keep game face, you just have to, because it was like, you have access to these amazing athletes, and and this like, and they're really cool.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like, they're like, you know? And so it's like, you could get caught up in it. But I was just, I felt like I was bringing New York with me.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I wasn't even stressing anybody like that.
That confidence, yeah.
And I went to high school in Rochester, New York. And my apartment was down the street from a very, very well-known recording studio. A lot of recording artists would come there and cut albums. And the last album that was cut there, before I moved to New York, back to the city, was Jodeci's last album. So I spent 2.5 years with Jodeci, Missy, Tim, Genuine, Static, rest in peace, so I was, Madonna would come through, because Mr. Dalvin signed to Maverick Records before Alanis Morissette, right?
Okay.
So, but Devontae's my dude, and so I was just like,
you'd been there before in a way.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so I wasn't really caught up, and I was always making gear for folks.
Right, you had a reason to be there.
Yeah, like I wasn't just, yo, where we going tonight? It was like, yo, I need you for an hour because I got to fit this on you real quick. Like, you're about to jump on this stage, like, I want to make sure this was right.
Yeah.
Like, that was always my focus.
When you went from, being at like with Dame and Rockaware to Nike, were they like hitting you at all to like try and help plug them with white on white Air Force Ones at the time?
Man. Maybe Dame, a couple times, but
You put him on a swoosh account?
but he was so plugged, but I was, to this day I still send Dame thank you boxes, like he just got my Fila pack, and so I'm about to send him some Eddie Bauer stuff,
Awesome.
Like, that's truly like, that's big bro for me.
So I know he had like that legendary sneaker room on the Just for Kicks documentary where it's like, he's like, I won't wear it until I can pop the tag on the shoes.
And he's always fresh.
Yeah.
Like, always no crease.
Socks,
Dude, the ProKeds, right? He goes, didn't you always want a pair of money green ProKeds to match your money green T-shirt or something like?
I did those.
You were designing all the ProKeds stuff?
Yeah. So he was like, I got ProKeds, and I was just like, I was done with the swoosh at this time. And I came back to New York, and I had my lady, and we had a brand new baby. And I'm like, yo, I need to get back into this. And he was like, I told you you'd be back. I was like, yo, fuck
Didn't
you,
the
man.
sneaker smell like root beer or something?
Yeah.
What?
We were doing all sorts of crazy. And that was Pete. Pete was...
The ProKeds smelled like root beer?
You were doing scented.
I need that, man.
And Pete was like head footwear. He was doing, and now he's running footwear for brand Jordan.
Who is that?
Peter. I draw a blank off his last name, but but he brought me back, and we were doing all the ProKed stuff. All when he had the brand.
Wasn't it something like, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I thought I remember reading that like ProKeds was big in Philly or something like that, and like Beanie Siegel had like convinced
Yeah.
Once like
Yeah,
the brand like license
it was something like
thing
that.
went up, like Beanie's like, oh, you need to buy ProKeds.
Something like that.
So they're doing like state property like ProKeds at the time.
Really?
Yeah. We were cranking out a lot of ProKeds product. A lot of product. Footwear and apparel. We had the old Tommy Hilfiger office. It was pretty dope.
Going back to Federer Tinker connection, I remember Federer always says, like, I've seen Tinker design shoes like on an iPad in a taxi cab, like ride. That's how. And you talked about Kanye and your setup in the college dropout tour bus. What could you tell us about Tinker's design, like kind of like a method from what you working close to him?
He's a scientist.
Mm.
You know, it's like water and breathing, you know, like freehand. It was just pencil,
Yeah.
markers, paper, and the upper comes together, the midsole, like just, you know, just watching it and just sitting there.
Yeah.
You know, like Mark Smith would just let us camp out. He gave us a whole wall to do a mural.
Mm.
Like we, you know, like we were just, you know, we were embedded. And it was just so inspiring to see.
Yeah.
And, you know, Tinker's prolific. So it's just.
It's almost like the Jay-Z thing of like, you just see somebody creating something out of nowhere, right?
Oh yeah, it doesn't write anything down.
It's, I don't even know how to describe it. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, it's like watching, you know, child being born. It's powerful. You know, like for me, I'm a creative guy. You
Yeah.
know, like when you see these ideas come to life out of thin air, you know, like I've been in a lot of studios. I've seen records be made. You know, it's like, that's incredible. And then to like go to the Mecca, I was a track and field dude, and I always ran in, you know, Nike spikes.
Yeah.
And it was like, I never thought I could get there, honestly.
Mhm.
You know, I was just like, it was just so far. It was just so far. And then to actually be in the nerve center of it all, it was just like, I had to take a pause for a second, you know. And Mark Smith really spent a lot of time with us. I'd probably say we spent a lot more time with Mark than we did with Tinker, because Tinker had so much going on at that time.
Yeah.
And the kitchen was fairly, you know, was just really starting to like.
Couple years into it.
Yeah, you know, and all these high profile projects were just coming through there. We were in the Michael Jordan building. Like that was our official building where we worked, but we had a whole setup over on the other side of campus, you know. So it was like, it got to a point where apparel was like, why do these guys get to just like do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was the beginning of like the undoing, I think. You know, it was a little bit of the
undoing of your time there
for me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go out there to like, you know, to jock anybody. Like I really went out there to learn.
Yeah.
You know, like I wanted to elevate my game. I wanted to see things that, you know, are just you don't get access to, you know, and I wanted to be able to like take that, share it, you know, with other creatives coming up.
Yeah.
Understand global supply chain, global storytelling. I never really was caught up in the starstruck.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, yo, send me to the factory.
Yeah.
Like I want to see how that
just as long as it's not in
made.
Guatemala.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You say you have the New York confidence. You were never starstruck, but do you remember someone coming to campus where it was a big deal?
Kobe.
Really?
Kobe.
What was it like those days? Like when a Kobe would come?
So this is when me and Stash did the Kobe pack.
Okay.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
So we did the varsity
Yes.
jacket.
Mhm.
We did the Stash did the ones.
Yeah,
Zoom
Kobe one.
Kobe's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, and we did a garment bag that with it. Like I still got all that. And Trevor Edwards asked me to come in and present, and it was just leadership. But before I went in, I was just kind of warming up, trying to had the thing.
You had a box.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, all right, I'm ready.
Eye of the Tiger's
I'm
playing.
ready.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I turn around and Kobe's there. And it's just us. I was like, I'm about to go out here and present to you.
Wow.
And he was like, yo, this is dope, man. I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It was
That must have gassed you up so much. You had Kobe's approval before you even
Before
went
the
to the
meeting.
meeting.
I went
Amazing.
in.
So then, how could you?
I
how could you go
glided
wrong?
in there like
He
boom.
already said what I was doing is dope, so you know.
Yeah. So I was already good.
Yeah.
But, you know, I wanted to show leadership and that we could do this, you know, and it was a quick turn. Like I'd made that varsity jacket at Settlemeyer's out in
Wow. Settlemeyer's,
in Portland.
yeah.
Big shout out to my crew, you know, Aaron. Like
Yes, I love their work. Yeah.
Yeah, I got
They're still
him the
making
Nike
stuff.
account. Yeah,
Wow.
I got
I
him
love-
that Nike. You know, that's fam.
Hell yeah.
You know, like the Destroyers, you
Hell
know,
yeah.
like all that, you know. Shout out to Jarrett Reynolds too, you know, and it was like when I saw Kobe, I was like, oh shit. That moment, that was where I was like, yo, I am here. Mama, I made it.
Yeah.
That was that moment.
I got
for
40
me.
more years of this in me if I need.
I was like, yo, this is it. And he was so chill, and truly curious about the process. Like the lining, I printed the lining because, you know, his mom, like we had a whole motif in the liner, stashed it as thing, you know, and so it was just like, and then I just waltzed in. It was just like bing, bong, boom. And Mark was like, this was fantastic.
Wow.
Like, you know, and Trevor, and it was just like, and Kobe was just like, he gave me one of those, and I was like, thanks, appreciate you guys, and then I'm off into, you know, back into the factory.
Yeah.
You know,
Did you ever have a moment like that with Hove? Because I know, again, you've been around these people forever, but it's Jay-Z.
Man, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, but my second tour with The Rock was when Hove acquired Billionaire Boys Club.
Okay.
Right? So they brought me back to design that. And this is when I got to spend a lot more time with Jay because the relationship was different, right? And the office energy was different. The vibe was different. This is Rock Nation now.
Okay.
And, you know, Hove he's Hove, you know? So it's like, you just gotta be on point, though, you know what I mean? But I'm working outside of his office, so I would see him every day. But there was times that, you know, I'm out about at night and just happen to be in the spot, and he'd be like,
Just at the Spotted Pig. The Spotted Pig top floor.
Yeah.
Did you? I have these guys know I have like Instagram image memory. When you were at Billionaire Boys Club, did you have a meeting with Cudi?
Yes. Damn, man.
Yeah,
Yo, you are.
I remember
you
that.
got like photographic memory.
Yeah, I have like this weird, but like, what was that meeting like?
Cudi is the man.
Yeah.
So he would come up and just hang in the office, you know, and Philip Leeds was brand manager. So, you know, Phil was just, so everybody was up there. You know, P would be in and out, but Phil was day to day. So Cudi coming up, he was curious. Like he wanted to see how we were making the stuff.
Yep.
And just chilling, you know. And I was like, man, and I love Cudi, man.
Yeah.
I just love Cudi and his music and just where he was at, you know, how it was starting to unfold. I was like, yo, this is my guy right here, you know. So we had a lot of fun, just a lot of fun in that office. The energy was great. We had Mark McNary, you know, up there. So, you know, it was
fun.
It was crazy, you know, with him and Travis shot, I think, one of the first McNary looks. So we had Travis.
He walked in the
Travis.
Yeah. Travis Scott walking in the fashion. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was always up there.
Wow.
Yeah, just, you know, it was just a great hive, you know, just music and stories and Dapper Dan come and hang and son Jelani, you know.
Shout out to Jelani. Yeah.
Shout out to Jelani, you know. And we would just like I would just hear so many crazy war stories. It was just like, I'm just, I got deadlines on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I got, I have a team that I'm leading here, and we got to present the P, and it's like, let's get this shit done. But that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying?
We want to talk a little bit about the stuff you have going on right now.
Oh, yeah, there's that too.
There's
I
so much
also want to
history.
know,
Okay.
before that, I
Okay.
want to know what gets you excited in footwear these days.
Footwear these days. Oh boy. I like the way that outdoor running and hiking is evolving right now.
Yeah.
I think that's really fascinating in how the shapes and silhouettes and materials are like, they're like borderline lifestyle, but they're really, really functional, but still kind of fashion fresh.
Is it like what brands do you think come to mind?
Solomon,
Yeah.
killing
Definitely.
it right now,
Yeah,
right?
Killing it. Yeah.
Right?
We're all on the Solomon
Yeah.
wave. I love that.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
an outdoorsy guy too, right?
I am
You
an
live on a farm?
outdoorsy guy. Yeah, I have a farm outside of Portland. I'm out there. When I get back to Portland, I'm gonna start clearing my rows. I'm a little late right now, but
Okay.
the weather's been tough on us out there. But I really enjoy it, and you're gonna see a lot of that in my Eddie Bauer collaboration.
Yeah.
I shot the whole campaign on the farm.
Amazing.
And it's about community. It's about my family, my friends, and just being able to grow your own produce and that connection to nature. That's really important for me. I got Mount Hood in my backyard. I love to ride, so I'm up there often and just,
Are you doing Hood to Coast this year?
nah.
You don't want to hop on the team?
Are you guys doing it?
I'll be there.
Are you for real?
Oh yeah, I've done it a couple times.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you're from Astoria, right? So, you know
We
about
can-
that. I don't know,
We might be able to
man.
open up a
We'll
slot
see.
for you. Might be.
We'll see. We'll see
Might
how
be.
my knees do.
And then the Fila project as well.
Yes, Fila. Amazing collaboration. I had a chance to work with the tennis category thanks to my dude Luke Cologne, who was the head of
Shouts to Lou.
Is he
Big
still
shout
at
to
Fila?
Luke. No, he
just left,
Oh,
right?
Yeah, but before he left, he passed me the rock.
I love
Okay.
that.
He
I
was
love
like,
that.
me too, man. And I love that brother right there. Like he really,
Shouts to Lou.
he really plugged me,
Mhm.
and he knows how much I love the sport of tennis. The president, Danny Lieberman, just a good guy. The whole crew, and I just wanted to, I always wanted to collaborate on a tennis story.
Dude, you did Roger Federer's logo.
Yeah,
Was that not
yeah,
enough?
yeah.
Tinker Hatfield
I
asked you
know,
to do
but
Roger
I didn't
Federer's
get a
logo.
chance to design any tennis apparel.
Okay.
The tennis category owned that, right? But this was my first time to really do a whole collection.
You do like the polo shirts and the short shorts.
Yeah, yes, but it was probably about a 60-piece collection,
Yeah.
and we
Wow.
launched at Indian Wells, and it was just amazing to see, and all the pros wearing it, and then to see it in the wild, it was just
The best feeling,
it's,
right?
It's the best feeling.
Yeah.
I it's probably like hearing your own song on the radio.
Yeah.
It's that kind of feeling. And Fila is just that classic heritage brand.
Yeah.
I grew up wearing it. And then to get a chance to like have my put my fingerprint on it. It's like in the tennis space was special.
Yeah.
Like truly special for me.
Same for Eddie Bauer, right? Now you're creative director of Eddie Bauer. You grew up with that stuff, right?
Yeah, right. Eddie Bauer Expeditions,
Yep.
man, in the hood. Come on, like you like and yeah, Eddie Bauer. That was started as a collaboration, so that's what I'm in town for. Actually, we're gonna have a little function to launch it Thursday. It's gonna go live on the site, and just my love of the outdoors.
Mhm.
They're in Seattle, close by. It was through the CFDA where I'm a member. They kind of put it together for me, and the collaboration started in 2020. And my brand went. I had to shutter.
Mhm.
There's a COVID, but I just I had a lot of a lot of learnings from that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to exercise it, but I wasn't in a rush, and I wasn't trying to hunt for
Sure.
that next corporate thing. You know, I just really needed, I think like a lot of us just needed to like take some time and just assess what was going on in our lives and in the world. It was a blessing that it just kind of fell in my lap, and I just went for it. You know, it started as a collaboration, and I was like, oh, this place is really interesting. There's a lot that can be done here, and the archive is ridiculous.
Sure.
You know,
Eddie Bauer hits so hard, like where I'm from.
Yeah.
Like
Long Island, Eddie Bauer.
And I feel like even the ads were really good back then. Yeah.
Yep. Looking at it through a different lens. They're really supportive. Everyone there is just fantastic. You know, that good Northwest vibe. And gonna let it rip.
Be careful. You start talking about Northwest vibes. We'll be here another couple hours. We can go in.
Yeah, you know, Northwest crew. But yeah, I'm really excited about it, man. It's this really special collaboration, and now they've offered me the creative director role, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
You know, it was just kind of organically happened that way. And there's so much that I would like to do.
Yeah.
And just getting started.
We look forward to it, man.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Thanks so
you.
much for coming. Stories for days.
I know, man. You know, I
Love it.
got a lot of stories, man.
I
Thanks
love
for
it.
just
Yeah.
letting me share my stories,
Nah,
man.
man.
I
You know.
appreciate you guys.
We've been looking forward to this.
Definitely.
Thank you, man. Me too. And you know, and just watching what you guys do here, man, is really special. You know, and just introducing so many amazing people, you know, to the world. You know, like, of course, a lot of people. You know, we have built a name for ourselves, but to be in here and just be carefree and just let it rip, man. It's special, man. It's special in here.
Yeah.
That means a lot. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Thanks for giving us your time. Congratulations on the creative director gig. Can't wait to see what you cook up. And I know always our paths will always cross
Of
every
course.
6 months to a year because you're always in the mix.
We got the
always in the
Shopify,
mix.
the Shopify popping too.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Shopify.
Can't forget.
We got some good shit going on over there. We just did the Victor
Yeah.
launch
I'm
with
mad I
the creative
missed that.
team. Yeah, and that was really special. Big shout out to John Wexler.
Shouts to Wex.
You know, the big homie setting that up. And Kyle and Hamza, the whole crew, but just Shopify, the platform itself is really, really special, you know, and I think it just really gives a lot of entrepreneurs the opportunity to realize their dream. And that's why, you know, I really like working with them on some, you know, on all these fun activations. And we got the supply side, we got the entrepreneur capsules popping. You know, there's a lot of really, really fun stuff happening from Ottawa, you know, and just... we got Hidden coming, you know, this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, it's really special, you know, and just, I think when the Victor, the album, banger, you know, like, and just Steven and, you know, and just who he is and his vision, and to be able to support him, you know, and the product and the whole Spaces team and what we did there, and just it was really, really special. So we're gonna keep that rolling.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Thanks again.
Thank you, guys.
This has been the Complex Sneakers Podcast. Please like, subscribe. Everyone have a great weekend. We will see you next week.